What's up, everyone? It's Malik Hicks here. Just to let you know something, and it's that I have a video segment on the Ultimate Sports TV called Ultimate Questions that I'd really love you guys to enter your questions in. It's a Q&A segment, but how do you enter your questions in? Well, if you're on a computer, just go to the discussion section and just go type in your ultimate question and whatever you'd like to ask me. It could be an NFL-based question, it could be an NBA-based question, and I will answer your question in a video in the series, the Ultimate Questions, the Q&A series, with other questions in that video. But how do you submit a question on a phone? A computer and a phone discussion section is very different. All you have to do is press the little arrow and go to the discussion section. All you got to do is enter your ultimate question. Hope you guys get to enter your ultimate questions. I'd love to answer them. Any NBA and NFL based questions. You're back. Hey, we back. Welcome everyone to this episode on the Ultimate Sports TV Guide. Today, I'll be giving you my predictions on what will happen in the Eastern Conference playoffs in the first round in this video. Before I tell you who gets out of the first round and who doesn't, please don't do yourself a disservice and do yourself a favor, because I want what's best for you. If you're not subscribed, you are missing out on a lot, because the Ultimate Sports TV is the hot spot. You get lots and lots of hot from the Ultimate Sports TV spot. Then when you're done with that, like this video, share this video on your YouTube channel, then comment what you think about who will make it out of the first round in the East and who will not make it out, since the playoffs are set. The playoff matchups are set in the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference video is coming soon, but here's the Eastern Conference one. Well, first we're going to start with the Bucks versus the Magic, and this series is relatively easy for me. I think the Bucks will sweep the Magic, and they're just overpowered, and I don't think anyone except a Magic fan has the Magic coming out of the first round against the Bucks. They're just way too overpowered. The Bucks have a historic defense. They shoot the ball. Their points per game in the whole league. They're going to dump defense and offense on the Orlando Magic. Yes, the Magic have Vucevic, Aaron Gordon, but they're not enough to match up with the Milwaukee Bucks. They've got depth. They got the MVP in Giannis. They've got Brook Lopez, a defensive player candidate. They've got Eric Bledsoe, a great defender, a great shooter. Chris Middleton, a great defender and a great shooter. They got Kyle Korver, Dante DiVincenzo, Pat Connaughton, so much more. The Bucks are too overpowered. They've got the depth, they got the shooting, they got the defense. They're one of the best defenses in the league. It's going to be too easy for the Bucks. Yes, it's the playoffs, but it's going to be too easy for them. It's a clean sweep. Bucks have everything. The Magic do not have enough at all to beat the Bucks. I got the Bucks winning this series. Now let's go to the Raptors versus the Nets. Now I got this series going to 5 games, but I have the Raptors winning this series 4-1. Now the Raps defense and their coach is just too good. They're top 3 in defense in the league, and their 3-point shooting is great with Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, and Fred VanVleet. Their 3-point percentage is 6th in the NBA. They've got a top 10 3-point shooting team, but their coach, Nick Nurse, I cannot get enough. He is going to coach this team through the playoffs. He was able to coach them through the finals and win it with Kawhi Leonard. But even without Kawhi Leonard, they've just been terrific. Now, last year, if you think about Raptors versus the Orlando Magic, the Raptors actually dropped the first game versus the Magic. Now, as you see, you're probably wondering now, if the Bucks can sweep the Magic, why can't the Raptors sweep a Kyrie and KD-less Nets? Well, I actually kind of like how the Nets bench has been playing so far throughout the bubble seeding games. They put up a lot of points together, and I think they've just been playing pretty well together offensively and defensively. Really offensively, because they can put up a load of points, and I feel like although the Raptors defense is good, Karis LeVert's there, Jared Allen's there, I feel like they can take one game. It might be in the middle of the series, knowing that there is no home court advantage, then it really doesn't matter right now unless you're the Philadelphia 76ers. But I do think the Nets take one game. If you can fall one game with Kawhi, you can definitely fall one game without Kawhi and to a 7th seed. Now, the Raptors just have great championship experience. They've got the depth. They've got Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, who's a sixth man of the year candidate. They've got Serge Ibaka. They've got Marc Gasol. They've got it. They've got the shooting. They got the defense. I just think they have it. They've got the depth. The Nets, they can't beat them. The Raptors are too overpowered with their depth and their coaching. It's just Raptors are winning the series. They are going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, in my opinion. They're too overpowered, well coached, and I think they'll get past the first round 4-1 versus the Nets. Now let's move on to the Celtics versus the 76ers. I got the Celtics winning the series, and it was kind of easy for me. I got them winning the series versus the 76ers 4-2. They don't have Ben Simmons. The 76ers do not have Ben Simmons. That takes away a playmaker, a superstar, a great passer. He's got great basketball IQ. He's a great player at the paint. In the paint, he has great interior offense. He's a guy that can create problems for the Celtics guard defensively, because he is an all-defensive player, an all-defensive team candidate this year. They are going to miss him. It makes this series lopsided. Yes, the 76ers have Tobias Harris. Yes, they have Al Horford to go along with Joel Embiid. Now, I do think Joel Embiid can make some matchup problems with Daniel Tice and Enes Kanter, but we know how injury prone it is. He is. Can he carry a team? I'm not saying he'll get injured, but it's, can he carry the load? Especially with the liability him and Al Horford on the court at the same time brings. Tobias Harris is great, but he's not going to get the 76ers over the hump. Shake Milton is great, but he's a young player. He's not going to be the X factor for them. They don't have that guard. They don't have that rah-rah three-point shooter that is consistent. They've got streaky guys, but they need consistent guys. The Sixers are even 5. Their record this year was under 500 on the road. They feed off that crowd energy, especially as one of the younger teams in the NBA. You really need the crowd in the playoffs, because there's different calls in the playoffs from the referees and everything like that. And they don't have it. They have way too many missing pieces to get out of the first round. I think the 76ers fall 4-2. Celtics create too many problems for them, especially because Ben Simmons' defensive presence is gone. Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker, Gordon Hayward, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown. Too many problems. The 76ers can't guard all of those players at once, so it's really a problem. The Celtics present good coaching. They've got good three-point shooting, and they've got great defense. They present too many problems for the 76ers, and the 76ers just have too many problems with the guard situation, the three-point shooting situation, no Ben Simmons situation. I don't think they have the right coach for the playoffs situation. But I think the Celtics win that series 4-2. But now let's get to the Heat versus the Pacers. I think the Heat will win this series by a hair. I think these teams match up well. I think they win this series in 7 games, 4-3. Now, these teams just match up so well. Now, TJ Warren versus Jimmy Butler. TJ Warren may be the NBA bubble seeding games MVP. Jimmy Butler, we know what kind of player and superstar he is. Don't forget about Oladipo. Jimmy Butler is probably going to have his hands full with TJ Warren and Victor Oladipo, but we'll see that. But the Heat just have such great depth, and I think that overpowers them. They have such great defense. They're a great 3-and-D team, and they can get stops. Now, one thing that the Pacers are missing is Domantas Sabonis. He creates a defensive problem. He's a shooter. He can get inside. He's just a great player for the Pacers, and they are going to miss him. If he was there, maybe I would have picked the Pacers in this series, but I just think the Heat are more talented, and they have more essential things. Domantas Sabonis is very essential to the Pacers, and he is very, very valuable to this team. They lose him, and they don't have that essential piece. Victor Oladipo is going to step up, but I think the Heat have enough defense and enough depth and enough shooting to be able to shut him down. Not shut him down totally, but limit Victor Oladipo, even with Jimmy Butler and TJ Warren. Now, there's another matchup that I'm really looking forward to, and that's Miles Turner and Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo is the better player, but these are guys that can score, guys that can play defense, guys that can pass the ball and get rebounds. I'm excited to see that. I do think Bam will ultimately win this, but the Heat just have better depth. I think depth is key in the playoffs unless you don't have that those big guys like LeBron and AD to help you out, but the Heat's depth is so good going against this Pacers team that doesn't have Sabonis that I just take them by a hair in the series. Now, why is it by a hair even though they don't have Domantas Sabonis? Hey, the Heat were just kind of inconsistent this year. Although they were in the 4th seed, they were on a losing streak before the hiatus came in and shut the NBA down. Just saying, if they can do that in the regular season, they can definitely do it in the playoffs. Now, I know the Heat can get big shots. I know they can get big stops. They've got great chemistry, and I just think they finish off this series in 7 games and win this versus the Pacers because of all the problems they create for them and all the things they have, and there's really no liabilities on this team, and they have a great coach. Both teams have great coaches. Teams are well coached, and I think it's going to be a hard-fought series by both teams. But let's recap this. I think the Bucks sweep the Magic. I think the Raptors beat the Nets in 5 games, 4-1. I think the Celtics and the Sixers go to 6 games. I think the Celtics will win that series 4-2. And the Heat versus the Pacers, I think that series goes to game 7, 4-3. I think the Heat win because of the matchup problems they cause. Guys, tell me what you think about these playoff series. Who wins them? Who loses them? Am I right? Am I wrong? Tell me in the comment section below. This is the Ranker of the Ultimate Sports TV signing off. The Western Conference playoff matchups are coming soon, and I'll tell you who will win and lose and get out of the first round in those series. Peace out, and I'll see you next time.